He asked for a divorce. She didn't fight it. She only had one request, that for 30 days he carry her from their bedroom to the front door every morning, just like he did on their wedding day. He thought it was strange, maybe even manipulative. He didn't realize she was dying, and by the time he understood why she asked, it was already too late. Stay until the end, because what he discovered on day 30 will stay with you. Most people don't forgive themselves after hearing this part. If you want more stories like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Michael and Grace had been married for 10 years. Not a perfect marriage, but a real one, built in the ordinary spaces between work and weekends and raising their son, David. He remembered carrying her across the threshold on their wedding day. She had laughed, full, unguarded, and wrapped her arms around his neck like she never wanted to let go. 10 years later, that hope had faded into routine. Dinners were quieter, conversations shorter. Somewhere along the way, Michael stopped noticing her. He told himself he deserved happiness, that staying unhappy was its own kind of dishonesty. Her name was Jane. She was younger, exciting. She looked at him like he was still someone worth seeing. And slowly, without deciding to, Michael let himself fall. He didn't know that while he was falling for someone new, Grace was fighting something she never told him about. The night he told her, Grace was serving dinner. Michael held her hand across the table and said the words he'd been rehearsing for weeks. "I want a divorce." She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she just asked softly, "Why?" He didn't answer. That silence was louder than anything he could have said. Something in her shifted. "You're not a man," she said quietly. Then she stood up, threw her chopsticks onto the table, and walked away. That night they didn't speak. She cried in their bedroom. He lay on the couch staring at the ceiling, feeling guilty but certain. He loved Jane now. Grace was just someone he pitied. The next morning he drafted a divorce agreement. Generous, he thought. The house, the car, 30% of his company. Grace looked at it once and tore it into pieces. The next day, she gave him her conditions. 1 month before the divorce, 30 days of living normally for their son's sake. David had exams coming. She didn't want to break him before they broke each other. Michael agreed. Then she added one more thing. "Every morning for the next 30 days, I want you to carry me from our bedroom to the front door, just like you did on our wedding night." He stared at her. Why? She didn't explain. He thought she was being difficult, maybe trying to make him feel something, but he agreed, anything to make these last weeks bearable. On the first morning, it was awkward. They hadn't touched in months. His arms felt stiff, her body felt unfamiliar. Their son, David, stood in the hallway watching. "Daddy's holding Mommy," he said, clapping. Something inside Michael cracked, but he didn't let it show. Grace whispered, "Don't tell him about the divorce." He nodded, put her down at the front door, watched her walk to the bus stop alone. On the second day, it was easier. She leaned into him, her head rested against his chest. He could smell her hair, something floral, familiar, half forgotten. By the fourth day, something began to shift. He noticed things, the fine lines around her eyes, the gray in her hair, the way her body felt lighter than he remembered. This was the woman who had given him 10 years, who had carried their son, their home, their life, while he slowly checked out. By the second week, carrying her became something else, not a chore, not a condition, something closer to tenderness. He didn't tell Jane. On day 20, Grace tried on dresses, one after another. None of them fit. "They've all gotten too big," she murmured. Michael looked at her, really looked at her for the first time in months. She had lost weight, a lot of weight. Her face was thinner, her arms more fragile. He reached out and touched her head without thinking. She looked up. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them. Their son walked in. "Time to carry Mommy." And Michael lifted her again. This time, his arms didn't want to let go. Day 30. David had already left for school. Michael walked into the bedroom and found Grace sitting on the edge of the bed waiting. He lifted her gently, her arms wrapped around his neck, soft, familiar, like coming home. He walked slowly, bedroom, living room, hallway. He didn't want to reach the door. When he finally stopped, his voice broke. "I didn't notice. I didn't notice that we lost this." She didn't answer, just held on tighter. He set her down at the door, then drove to Jane's apartment. She opened the door, smiling. "I'm not getting the divorce," he said. Jane stared at him. "What?" "I'm sorry. I was wrong. I don't want to leave her." Jane slapped him, slammed the door. He didn't flinch. He drove to a flower shop on the way home. "What should I write on the card?" the salesgirl asked. He smiled. "I'll carry you out every morning until death do us part." He came home that evening with the flowers in his hand and a smile on his face. He ran up the stairs. He opened the bedroom door. Grace was lying in bed, still, silent. She was gone. Michael dropped the flowers. He didn't scream. He didn't move. He just stood there trying to understand what he was looking at. She had been sick, cancer, for months. She never told him. She had watched him fall in love with someone else while her body was failing. She asked for 30 days, not to win him back, but to leave him with something different than guilt. She wasn't trying to save the marriage. She was teaching him how to live after her, so that David would remember a father who carried his mother with love, not one who abandoned her at the end. Some people love so quietly that you don't hear it until they're gone. Grace didn't ask him to stay. She gave him 30 days to remember who they used to be. And by the time he understood, all he had left were flowers and a card she would never read. He carries that weight now, every morning, for the rest of his life. Not in his arms, in his chest. The small things, the quiet mornings, the daily rituals, the moments that feel too ordinary to matter. Those are the marriage. Not the house, not the car, not the company shares, just the carrying, just the closeness. If someone in your life suddenly disappeared tomorrow, who would you regret not noticing more? If this story stayed with you, drop that person's name in the comments, or just the word mom, or dad, or her, or him, whatever feels true. And if you want more stories like this, the kind that don't let go easily, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New stories every week. Love, lies, and lessons, where every heartbreak reveals a truth.